Hi everyone, I'm Yo and this is Virginia. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, knowing, caring, and loving our lady parts. So today I have a great video for you again about something that women complain about postpartum all the time, more so than complete decreased bladder control, and that is vaginal farts, or that lovely word, whoever invented it, QUEEFs or QUEEF or QUEEFs, I think, because they can't control it and it's really embarrassing. So please tune in and let's get started. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell your friends, and let's get started about why women have these vaginal farts that sound like this and what it is that causes it. Okay, so most of the time in my clinic, I see a lot of women postpartum and they will have multiple problems, and this is the one they're really embarrassed about. And one of the reasons is, and I'm sure if you have this, you will attest to that, is you can't control it. You can't even attempt to control it because it just spontaneously releases, and it's different than a gaseous fart or flatulence, because at least you can try to contract those anal sphincter muscles or use your pelvic floor and prevent that gas from leaking. So why do you get these vaginal farts or QUEEFs, and how can you prevent them or treat them? Well, the good news is that it can be treated very successfully, and the reason why that you get these QUEEFs is because, so Virginia will demonstrate this. So you know she's had multiple kids and she is perfect for this because she does have that, and she's kind of embarrassed, but it's getting better. But her vagina is kind of open to her introitus. So what happens is when your pelvic floor muscles are really loose, or hypotonic we call it, then the vagina or introitus can actually be more open than normal, creates this gap, and guess what happens? Air gets trapped in there, and then when you go into fun inverted positions, or where your air is moving with your legs, what happens is you let that noise out, and it's really embarrassing and it's spontaneous. So it's from loose muscles of the pelvic floor usually. So if we use Myrtle here to demonstrate, so there are the pelvic floor muscles, remember, the lady part muscles. Of course, after you have a baby, especially in a vaginal birth, those muscles get stretched beyond you know what. And usually, yes, they do go back. But what can happen is if you're already loose and those muscles are deconditioned, and there's more of an opening than normal and air gets trapped in there. And this is a clear example, is there's where the vagina would be and the pelvic floor muscles are there. So when you start regaining the tone of those muscles and you start bulking up and they start to hypertrophy, then guess what? That opening closes and there is not as much air that gets trapped in, and you won't have these vaginal farts or QUEEFs anymore. The other complaint in terms of the air too is some people may have actually, especially when they go swimming, they say, oh, it feels like actually I'm leaking urine. But actually what's coming out is the water actually gets trapped in there because there's more of an opening, and it feels like there's a gush of urine coming out afterwards. So that can be another symptom of the QUEEFs or the vaginal farts. So let's bring our sponges here as an example again. So here's the pelvic floor and it's atrophied, it's not working well. And then we have a green one that has hypertrophied and has increased in bulk, but it's been working out more. And of course it's filled with water. Okay, so what we wanna do is increase the bulk of those pelvic floor muscles so it closes the opening, kind of like Virginia here. So when she starts working out, what's gonna happen is that opening is gonna close. We gotta push her back in here, and then she won't have as much air trapped in, and you won't get the vaginal farts anymore. Easy peasy, right? So if you have any of those QUEEFs or vaginal farts, then you wanna increase the bulk of your pelvic floor muscles so they hypertrophy and they close the opening so the air doesn't get trapped in there. And that can take time, but you've got to work at them and make sure that you integrate them functionally also, especially when you're doing any of those exercises, such as inverted poses with yoga. Just squeeze your pelvic floor throughout that exercise to try to close that gap, and then see if that helps with that air leaking. So I hope you've enjoyed this video about vaginal farts, and let me know in the comment below if any of these tips are helping. I'd really, really love your feedback. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell your friends. And we look so forward to seeing you again soon.